Hello, welcome to episode 308. We're going to be making a sword of freezing. This is version 1.19, but I discovered after I built this that it could probably be made much better in at least 1.19.4 where we have display entities. Why have I released this one then if it can be made better? Well, someone might look at the commands I've used and offer me suggestions, in which case we'll add those improvements at the same time. But if you're interested in seeing a display entity version or a later version, not brand new with the component system, I won't do that yet, but at least with display entities, just let me know. Minions here. Oh, I should say, this one was requested on the Discord by Oxyzz. Minions here ready and waiting to be my test subject. Got off lightly last time, didn't you? With just your little teleporting around, so this time we're going to be slapping you with the sword of freezing. There you go, you are frozen in those ice blocks for 5 seconds. You can change the time. And you're free. Oops. Now, that was me being silly at the end after I built it. What we want to do is take the speed off the particles for the snowflakes, otherwise it looks a bit crazy. There you go. Get in your ice. No moving for you. You stay frozen there. There we go. So you can slap someone with your sword of freezing, and funnily enough, they're frozen. And you can change the time. I've got it set to 5 seconds at the moment. Okay, but enough waffling on. Let's get on and build it now. Okay, right, let's make a couple of objectives. For one, we're going to have for when a player does damage, and we're going to have one as a timer for how long the player is frozen for. So let's make those. This will be our setup. Scoreboard, objectives, add, damage dealt, and that will be of type custom and damage dealt. Okay, and let's have one for the timer. Scoreboard, objectives, add, let's call it freeze timer, and it's just going to be a dummy. Okay, bump. And now we need to give the player the sword. Give. That'll do, just give. Done. Okay, let's give that P. Diamond sword. It looks ice coloured, doesn't it? Freezing. True. Display. And in display we'll have a name. And name will have a boop boop, apostrophe apostrophe, probably makes more sense than boop boop. And that will be text. Sword of freezing. I'll tell you what, let's make the name a bit more interesting. I don't want it to be italic. Italic false. I'll make it bold as well. Bold. True. And let's give it a bit more of an icy colour. That's not right. Bold. True. And let's give it a bit of an icy colour as well. So I suppose we'll pick aqua. Done. Okay, let's sort of freezing. Yeah, that all looks good. Okay. Right. Now we're going to need a controller, and also we're going to need a subject. So I better open to LAN, creative, allow cheats on, start the LAN world. Okay, right, controller. Let's have a look at that number, 60237, 60237. Right, for hello. I reckon probably a good idea to give you some armour, because you're going to get slapped around a bit today. So let's give you a bit of armour. There you go, you have that. Oh, well done. Okay, well, you're not actually wearing it yet, are you? But never mind. Controller. Okay, and let's put you in game mode survival. Game mode survival. Infernal minion. There we go. Can you put your clothes on? Do you want to put them on? How do we do that? That's it. There we go. You look much better now. Cool. Right. A controller. We are going to want to execute as someone who does damage. So we'll start with that. And we want to check that they're holding the sword that has the freezing tag. Okay, so let's do that then. Execute as all players. Scores equals damage dealt equals 2 or higher, and MBT equals selected item, and the selected item we're just going to check for a tag. The tag we're going to check for is freezing true, and then we'll have a look at that and see what hideous mistakes we've made. Why are you unhappy with me? Let's find out. Right, it says SCOs. There we go. That made it pretty easy, didn't it? Just a silly spelling mistake. Okay. Right, so executing at them. And we are going to store the success of the command. Where are we going to store it? We're going to store it as a score on that player into their damage dealt score. That's fine. Yeah, so this is effectively going to reset the score because it's going to set it back to 1, so it won't be 2 anymore. We're going to execute this command at that player, and then, so this is executing at their feet, and now we're going to do positioned carrots 2.5, so it's executing at their feet, and now is executing 2.5 blocks in front of their feet. We will run tag any player who has a distance. We'll do distance of, let's say, less than 2.49 will do. We'll limit it to 1 person, and we'll say the sort is nearest. And we're going to add a tag. Add the tag freeze me. Okay, there we go, you can see it now. Freeze me, okay. You know what's coming. Let's turn it on. You know what's coming. Ooh, there we go. Okay, do you have a tag now? Tag at all players. Actually, we'll just set, well, we'll hardcode the name for this test. Remove. We've got 3 tags, but you do have the freeze me tag, so let's remove that. I'll tell you what, let's just remove your other tags as well. Is highest. And target, who knows what they're from. Okay, that's 1. I have to keep an eye on the health for Infernal Minion, otherwise we're going to end up killing him. Okay, so we're definitely tagging it, that's cool. Right, so now let's do some stuff at the frozen player. Execute at all players. Tag equals freeze me. Oh, okay, check out for that mistake. Okay. Run summon armor stand. Now I am using an armor stand because I want it to have gravity. So if you hit them when they're in the air, I want them to fall to the ground and the ice blocks that they're going to be frozen in to go with them. So armor stand has got gravity, so we don't have to do anything. Store it there, and we'll give it some tags. Tags will be, I suppose this is the freeze point. I'm not going to make it invisible, but I will put it in because we'll change it later. Invisible equals 0. Well, I prefer false. Okay, done. Well, we're pretty sure that's going to work. And then I think we'll give that armor stand its timer. So let's do score. Have we pressed the button today? Have we pressed the button? There we go. Scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, freeze timer. Execute at any entity whose tag equals freeze point. Now there's a lot of entities in the world, so sometimes I won't put these in, but it's best, I think, to say what the entity is. There we go. So it's only going to check armor stands. I'm not sure if this is quicker. Checking if the entity is an armor stand and then checking if it's got the freeze point tag, or just checking if it's got the tag. I'm not 100% sure there. Generally, if you're making a map for a few players, it doesn't really matter. But if you want ultimate perfection of efficiency and performance, well, you're going to have to ask someone that knows a bit better than me, I'm afraid. I know that this generally works and you don't notice any slowdown. Okay, so we're executing at the armor stand whose tag equals freeze point, unless the score of that armor stand is freeze timer equals his own freeze timer score. So if he's already got a freeze timer score, don't do anything. Run scoreboard players set that armor stand's freeze timer to, let's say, this is how long they're frozen for, so 5 seconds, 100 ticks. Done. Now I want to summon a couple of ice blocks. Okay, now if I was doing this in a version that had display entities, so 1.19.4 or higher, I would have these blocks as passengers of the armor stand, because you'll find that when the armor stand falls, the ice blocks are a little bit laggy falling behind it. So I would use, in fact, if you're interested in seeing a version for 1.194 or higher, then let me know. Okay, but let's summon some ice blocks. Execute at any entity. This time I'm just going to say tag equals freeze point, just to make it quicker. It's going to have a score though. We don't want to keep summoning things. We only want to summon them one time. So let's say it scores equals freeze timer equals 100, because we're going to be decrementing that shortly. So it's only going to equal 100 for a tick. Run summon a falling block at those coordinates. So that's the armor stand's feet. Remember, it defaults to feet. Tags. We're going to give it a tag. What should we call it? We'll call it freeze block, because that's what it is. Tags equals freeze block. Okay, why are you unhappy? Because we've put tags in curly brackets, not square brackets. It's a list. There we go. Freeze block, and this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to also tag them individually. This is the bottom block. We'll need a block state as well, actually. We'll have to say what it looks like. So, block state. What block are you going to look like? Name, just ice, I suppose. We'll just use ice. And I don't want it to have gravity. We're going to teleport it to the armor stand, so it doesn't need gravity. And if you give it gravity, it's going to fall onto the ground and turn into a real block. So we definitely don't want that. So definitely no gravity. That's what it is. We definitely don't want any gravity, and no diggity either. Right, true. I'm going to copy that. Copy that whole command. Copy. Put another one down. Paste it in. And I'm just going to change a couple of things. It's not going to be the bottom block now. It's going to be the top block. So we'll change its tag. So they're both tagged with freeze block. One is tagged with bottom. One is tagged with top. And this one we will summon one block up from the armor stand's feet. That should be all right. Okay, done. Now we are going to execute at any entity whose tag equals freeze point. So with that armor stand again. And I do sort of want to check its score again. Scores equals freeze timer equals 100. Not 100 or higher, not 100 or less. 100 exactly. And we'll play a sound. Play sound, a foof sound. with a shooting, or blaze shooting, probably a good one. Let's try blaze. Entity blaze dot shoot. Play it on the master channel. Play it for all players at those coordinates we've positioned at. I'll make it a little bit quieter, and I'll drop its pitch right down, and we'll have 0 so it gets quieter as people walk away. Done. Okay, so let's have a little recap. Tag them. We've got tag them, summon the armor stand, give the armor stand a score, create 1 block, create 2 blocks, play a sound. Okay. Do we want to do anything else? Yes, we're going to want to, from now on, I think we're going to be wanting to teleport the player to that armor stand so they can't move. Yeah, let's do that. So, and we don't want to change their rotation either. So we want them to keep their own rotation. Execute as any player, tag equals freeze me. I'm going to do that a lot. That's an underline. Freeze me. Since I am playing with a permanent sort of teleport here, I'm going to put in my little temporary tag equals not dev, just in case I get stuck in a teleporting loop. At S. So executing at freeze me's feet, and then we'll just find the nearest freeze point to them. So at any entity whose tag equals freeze point, sort equals nearest, and we better limit that to 1. Limit equals 1. We want the player to keep their own rotation, so rotated as S. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, run teleport the player to the coordinates of the armor stand, and we want those as well. Yes, okay, I'm happy with that. Right, done. Now what do we want to do? I want to make sure that the ice blocks are teleported to the armor stand as well, in case the player falls down. So let's put a couple more teleports in here. Execute. Now, if we were using 1.19.4 and we had display entities that were passengers of the armor stand, we wouldn't need these commands because they would automatically just follow the armor stand around for us. So I do think, I didn't realize, I didn't even think about that till I'd finished making this, and I thought, oh, that is much better. But it was too late. So any entity whose tag equals bottom, so we're doing the bottom freeze block, at itself, and then we're going to get the nearest freeze point armor stand, so at any entity whose tag equals freeze point, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1, run TP to its feet. That seems fine. Okay, I'm going to copy all of that. Copy, because we've got 2 blocks. Done. I'm going to put another one down. And we're going to TP it to its feet, and then lift it up 1. So we teleport it to its head. But this time we're going to be teleporting the block that is tagged with top. Okay. That's all right. Now let's stop the player from moving. Now they can't move because they're teleported to the armor stand, but if they try and run, it'll be very jiggly. They'll be like jiggle, 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 and it won't look that nice for them. So I'm going to give them a jump boost, and I'm going to give them a slowness, and they'll be pretty much stuck. It'll make it look a lot nicer for them when they're stuck inside ice. Yeah, it'd be much nicer for them. So we're going to execute as, and I'm just going to do a quick check that we are executing as. Yeah, we are executing as. Okay. Executing as all players whose tag equals freeze me And I'm going to put my little temporary tag equals not dev in there again. Run effect give. So we'll give them a jump boost, because we'll give them a high jump boost. We go above 127 and effectively it stops them from jumping. Okay, true, done. I'm going to control middle mouse, copy that entire block, put it down again, and all I'm going to do is change this to slowness. In fact, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this as slowness. Yeah, that should be fine. Done. Okay, so we've tagged the player. We've summoned an armor stand at them. We've given the armor stand a timer. We've summoned some blocks. We've played a sound. We're teleporting the player to the armor stand continuously. We are giving them a jump boost and a slowness continuously. And it's never going to end. So we're gonna need some way to know when to stop doing this. So let's decrement the timer. So if we do scoreboard players remove, and we have any entity whose scores equals freeze timer equals, should we say 1 or higher. That way it'll stop at 0. The last time it'll run would be at 1, and we are going to remove 1, so it'll stop at 0. Cool, so the score's going down now. Now we just need to do stuff when it gets to 0. So now we need to undo everything we've just done, basically. Okay. So we're going to want to, I suppose we want to kill the freeze blocks. So we will execute, or we will clear that old command. We will execute as any entity whose tag equals freeze point scores equals freeze timer equals 0 at that entity. Run kill any entity whose tag equals freeze block. So that will kill freeze block top and freeze block bottom. Again, if we were using display entities, we wouldn't need this. Sort equals nearest. And this time we'll do limit of 2, so it'll kill both of them. Limit equals 2. Okay, that should work. Done. So that's the ice blocks gone. Now let's untag the player. So when we untag them, it'll stop teleporting them, etc. They still won't be able to move, though. Let's remove that, because they'll still have the 2 effects which are stopping them from moving. So let's press done there a second. Let me just get rid of that block. And let's get this beginning bit in here. All of this. Execute as freeze point scores freeze timer. Yes. At S run. Okay, I'm going to take all of that. Copy. Put it in here. I'm just going to make some changes. So execute as. No, we'll just do execute at. We don't need the as. So we don't need at again. So we're executing at the freeze point. And now I am giving them the effects for 1 second for 20 ticks. So if I say here freeze timer equals 0, we remove freeze me, it's going to still be another second before their effects run out. So I'm going to actually say 20. That way, the effects will stop being applied 1 second before the ice blocks disappear, the effects will last 1 second, and the ice blocks should disappear at the same time. So that should be good, right? As any player whose tag equals freeze me, I suppose they're going to be the nearest player, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1, and we will run tag that player, remove, freeze me. I knew that little space was there, I saw it sneak in, so this time I'm going to get rid of it. There we go. So now we've removed their tag. Done. Let's pop another block down because we need to kill the armor stand now. I think that's it. Actually, no. Let's have a bit of sound. Let's have a bit of sound and a particle. Okay. So we can just use that again. Execute as any entity. Tag equals freeze point. Scores equals freeze time equals 0. Yeah. Let's play a particle. Well, it's an icy thing, so snowflake always makes sense for this. I don't want to play it at the feet. Let's play it up a bit. I don't know. Let's have 0.4. Let's have it a bit higher though. 0.8, 0.4. No movement. I think if you put any movement on snowflakes, they go pretty much mental. We could check that later. And we'll have about 50 of them. Done. Let's have another one. And we'll start with that same beginning again. Execute freeze point. Scores to freeze time equals 0. And we'll play a sound. It's ice. And if you're ever doing ice breaking, well, if I'm ever doing ice breaking, I always end up using the glass block. I think it's just called glass. It's not called glass block. It's like it's even filling it in for me. Break on the master channel for all players. We'll play it 1 up. Not that it would make much difference. It's quite a loud sound, isn't it? Let's just reduce the volume a little bit. Normal pitch. Yeah, volume. Okay. And now I suppose we need to kill the armor stand. The armor stand's still there. Now we're not targeting it anymore. We can just kill any entity. That doesn't say any entity. Tag equals freeze point. Scores equals freeze timer equals 0. That's it. Okay. Done. Minion. You got off light last time. Just having a little teleporting around. Okay, well nothing weird's happened so far. I'm always a bit worried. Right, Minion, let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, look at that. That is a lot of armor stands. Let's turn that off. How many armor stands have we got there? And why? Okay. Let's do a little bit of troubleshooting. I think the first thing we're going to do is just kill all armor stands. Kill any entity whose tag equals freeze point. Okay, 132 of them for some reason. Okay, why did we have so many? Well, I think the reason being is I've got these running continuously and I'm going to have to change some of these to conditional. So let's do that. Right. Add freeze me and we're checking damage and selected item. That's fine. If that happens, then we will summon an armor stand. If we summon an armor stand, then we will give that armor stand a score. If we give the armor stand a score, then we will summon the bottom block. If we summon the bottom block, we will summon the top block. And we can probably put the sound as conditional as well. Now I don't think that's going to actually help with, because there must be another problem, but it stopped the armor stands. So something must be going wrong. Let me check you. I think tag at Tag infernal minion, remove, freeze me. Is it because that wasn't being removed? Right, okay, we've got the armor stand, and there is only one. Scoreboard, objectives, set to, and I'm sure I've already done this. Freeze timer. Okay, so he is not getting his freeze timer scores. Now that's narrowed it down where we should be looking. So let's remove that tag from you. Hey, where's my kill command? There it is. And get rid of that armor stand. So something's going wrong with giving the score. That's summoning the armor stand. We know that worked. Something happened here. He wasn't given the score. So let's have a look. Execute at type equals armor stand. Tag equals freeze point. That looks okay. Unless score at S freeze timer equals freeze timer. Okay. Run scoreboard player set freeze timer 100. Okay, let's just copy that command. Done. Have we called it actually freeze timer? Yeah. Let's give him a slap. And can we scoreboard players, can we take all of this out? I'm gonna copy that bit or cut that bit. Scoreboard players set. He's got a timer. Oh, well, and we know the particles work and the ice worked when it broke. Okay. So why is he not being given the score himself? It's definitely summoning the armor stand, so this command should definitely be running. Execute at. Okay. There's the mistake. Here, at the end, we are saying at S. S is the person running the command, or the object running the command. It can be a command block, it could be a mob, it could be an entity. Right, so we're executing at the armor stand. So it's picking its position. And we're using lots of at S. But we're not actually telling it what at S it is. We need to be executing as the armor stand. Now, when it gets to here and it says at S, it goes, oh, you mean the armor stand that you're executing as? So this should be the fix. Let's have a test. Minion, you ready? That armor is really saving you. Okay, have a slap. Oh, you're enclosed in ice. Now, on minion screen, that looks awful because the armor stand is not invisible. So there's a change for us. True. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's. Now this is why I would want to update this to display entities. What we'll do. Right, are you capable of climbing up that ladder? Can you? Well done, good job. Now you just stay up there a second while I experiment with you. So in you. Well. Why do you not wish? Do you still have the tag? Have we got a problem with tag removal now? Tag. Infernal minion. Remove. No. There we go. Didn't do enough damage maybe. So it's working up there. No problem. Let's remove this block. Let's do it again. Now, you see, that's the bit I really don't like. It does eventually teleport down to where the player is, so there is an ice block stuck in the sky, but it's not very nice, is it? And I think that would probably be solved if we just... Where are you going, minion? That's the wrong way. if we just had display entities as passengers. Okay. Oh, see, yeah, I don't like it. But apart from that, everything else is working completely fine. Yeah, I mean, you could, if you wanted, have it so it throws them in the sky. All you'd have to do is summon the armor stand with no gravity. And that would fix it. Although, then they're not going to fall down to the ground, which makes a lot more sense to me. So I think this really needs an update to 1.19.4 at least. And we'll start. You look very sad, Minion. And then we can have display entities as passengers. I think that would be better. Anyway, enough rambling. We've had a play around. You've seen the effects. Well, actually, I'll tell you what we will do. We'll just have a look at snowflake particles if you give them a speed of 1. That's all we're going to do. We'll just put 1 instead. Are you ready? How is that 1? It's just crazy. Snowflakes are mental. Anyway, enough of that. I'll see you next time. Take care.